It's easy to say that everyone should have a stable, affordable place to call home.
Anyone should be able to thrive in the Bay Area.
We need to fight for racial justice.
We need to undo the damage that's built up over generations.
Our kids deserve a future here.
Agreeing on all that, that's the easy part. The hard part is creating change, turning shared values into collective action.
The collaborative table exists to deliver research-driven
field practice strategies, tactics,
and messages into the hand of the people who are doing the work.
We are seizing this powerful moment to drive new narratives for our movement.
This is a place where we can share power and incubate change.
There is never a better time to fight for progress than right now.
Here's how we're doing it.
We're choosing messages based on what we believe is ultimately going to build power for us. And it builds power by reaching a larger group of people.
This specifically fills a really needed gap in the nonprofit sector and space, both around communications and around advocacy and policy.
I was at the South San Francisco City Council. I used a technique to start out with a positive statement. And so my statement was, South San Francisco should be proud of its cultural diversity. And doggone it, if one of the city council people said, "Who said that?" And she said, "Oh, you said that? The only person who is brave enough here to be in support of..." And I thought, she heard it, it worked.
Haven engages our local artists, art makers, media makers, really our cultural wealth within Oakland and the broader Bay Area to share their work and perspectives on housing justice.
It's really valuable to be able to overtly state the effects of racism, structural racism, and that being reinforced by the Shift the Narrative work.
The thing that I like most about Shift the Narrative is the fact that you did pivot and that what you're giving us is useful when we need it.
So much has changed in a year.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus.
The 26-year-old emergency medical technician was shot and killed by police.
The United States is reporting the highest number of deaths in a single day.
In city after American city tonight, thousands of people have once again taken to the streets.
And we, in our response letter to the Movement for Black Lives, we kind of highlighted the work that we do that is inherently fighting for racial equity.
Being more explicit about talking about the housing crisis as a racial justice and racial equity issue.
And there's just so much opportunity now because of the awakening of that cultural shift and narrative change for us to insert ourselves in as long-term vehicles that can help bring about the changes that are being demanded.
I mean, the press conference definitely, I would consider a huge success. Often the press just kind of focuses on what did the landlord lobby say or something like that. And it actually, I think, bring it in a health frame helps, make it renter-centered.
And also people are tired and burnt out and people want a vision. So we ended up going with this, the framing of choose us, not billionaires, choose renters, not billionaires, choose essential workers, choose immigrants, choose Black lives.
You have to keep repeating the message for people to, number one, begin to internalize it and then be able to see themselves within the message.
So that was one place in which having the Shift the Narrative principles already at hand in terms of how to do race-forward messaging, but really explicitly pro-Black. It was sort of like doing this new alchemy where it can talk to our values to people who aren't already with us has been a thing. And I feel like that's going to be honed as these campaigns keep moving.
Whatever happens, what we are going to be dealing with is people's lives. Advocacy to protect people during COVID, to protect people during the economic downturn. That's what's going to be happening in 2021.
In 2020, our community faced a pandemic,
devastating wildfires,
historic demands to end police violence, and enact racial justice.
Even amidst all that, we have grown our power.
We have advanced our research.
We have embedded our learnings in our work.
We have moved the cause of housing justice and racial justice forward.
The work we do now will help shape
the future of the Bay Area.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
To keep moving forward.